Hello and welcome to the world of Zwift and the final episode before the holidays. And I know I'm also struggling to come to terms with it too, but never fear, because we'll be back in the new year with new features, new faces and new Zwifters showing us what they're made of. And if it's the new year, if they're anything like me, that'll be 62% tofurkey. But for now, this is what we have in store for you. I go through some of the things you might want to put on your Christmas list. Nathan and Dave tie a neat little festive bow around the gift that keeps on giving, the ZRL. Matt Lietto drops by to talk Z Pro Tri. Anna Russell, well, she talks to Team Aero. Kristin Armstrong sums up why the ZRL Premier Division winners won in her coach's corner. And Matt Stevens takes us around the unique World Championship course in his Pro Rider Recon. The final race in Season 1. The final team time trial, the final chance for the elite men of the Premier Division to see if they can crack the formula and take down Canyon Esports. This is what went on Watobia's waistband on Monday.
Week number 8 of the Zwift Racing League. It is the last race of the season.
It's a short course. It's going to be incredibly intense. This Dutch team is absolutely flying. Aero, they're already down to 3 riders. There it is, your new fast time at that check is a 13:09, but it is very, very close.
They have split their team apart. This is disorganization. Vitas is catching both Turbo and No Pins at the same time as Turbo was being caught. Canyon Esports here now. They have 12 seconds over Vitas.
Although they have lost one rider.
It's Canyon Esports. They're going to have to full-on sprint across here, but it looks like they made it happen. All 4 coming right on through. Wow, this is very tight racing. Everybody's finishing just back to back to back. Canyon Esports with a walk-away ride there. Yo Auto taking down second place. Vitas there for third.
155 points for the win for Canyon Esports.
It's been a great racing season so far. The first 8 races are done. We've crowned our champions now. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Ride on.
Now, as it's the last show before Christmas, we thought it might be a good idea to take a little look at a few of the things you want to get, maybe for that special Zwifter in your life, even if that very special Zwifter is yourself. Top of my personal wish list for Turbo Santa is clothing that will miraculously keep my body temperature at an unusually low level, so that, 1, I remain hydrated and don't need 5 bidons for every race. I simply do not have enough bottle cage mounts on my training bicycle. And 2, so I can save valuable energy and compete at a previously unthought of level. So what to wear to achieve this? Well, you're in luck, Turbo Santa, as there are a whole host of options out there now, and also I'm not that picky. But if you wanted some guidance, here are my top 3 right now. Firstly, Wahoo and Lecole have come together to create their indoor riding range. As you'll see, sported on this very tight looking model, it's the Lecole by Wahoo indoor training jersey and bib shorts in black and blue. And you can see them here whilst the model destroys himself in the Zwift lab, barely breaking a sweat. Made from lightweight fabric with laser cut incisions and featuring a multi-density padded foam chamois that draws sweat away. My first impressions were pretty good actually, and the jersey definitely has the feel of a base layer in weight, and by my standards at any rate, good sweat wicking capabilities. And if you are a fabric and you can wick sweat away from this body, well, you're doing a pretty good job. Next up, we have Rafa's offering core cargo shorts, a sleeveless top. I know I didn't have time to shave my shoulders. And a sweat cap, a full top-to-toe Rafa indoor riding kit. The socks are the model's own, which are actually also Rafa. As with everything Rafa, it comes with its signature touch of class. Finally, and some might say from left field, but I would say from the heavens above, we have No Pins. That is right, you'll have heard their name banded around the ZRL broadcast as they sponsor the R3R teams, and their kit has been on show like it is now if you've been paying close attention to the rider cams, as you know I have. Now, No Pins bring a slightly different approach to cooling, and I have to say it's one that I like. They thought, why simply stop someone from getting hotter through using better fabrics when you can combine this with actively making Zwifters cooler by slotting ice cold rods of performance, hello there, into their kits. That is right. No Pins have created a range of indoor riding clothing with special compartments for ice packs. What are they like to ride an OJ? I hear you scream, and I'll tell you more in the new year when we bring you an in-depth review of all of this kit, but for now, suffice to say, they're chilly. Now, Team Hino looked to extend their perfect record in the team time trial on Monday night. The question I have for you is, did they? Well, dramatic pause. You'll have to watch the highlights to find out. Spoiler alert, maybe.
It's going to be a painful half hour for all of our top teams.
I know, look at that, 1.7 already. Vision have closed down some time now. Volchinski here on the front for 2020 as they just get passed by Hino.
Wow, what a ride we are witnessing here from Hino. This is that command performance, and they're about to catch the second team out here. I don't know that another team will ever be able to do what Hino has done, and that is sweeping the floor clean throughout 8 weeks of racing.
2020 have made the catch that they're looking for here.
I raced like a girl the fastest time at the 24:51.
No Pins R3R. They are only 2 seconds behind 2020. It's their third place to lose right now, Aero.
This is the team, though, that had the stunner of a ride today. No Pins. Lou Bates and company. Great job today. Perfect 20s across the top, leaving no doubt about it. Hino, you are the queens of esports racing.
No Pins R3R. They made it happen by 1 point. That is a 7-point leap over Aero.
And my favorite boy band joins me now. Nathan and Dave, thank you so much. Dave, let's start with you. It has been a fantastic series, hasn't it?
It really has, OJ, and last week was the perfect example of what we've enjoyed throughout the entire series. Unbelievable racing. We saw some teams find another level out there.
And Nathan, if we look at this season, this first season, it has just blown all of our minds, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's been really great to see what the foundations of this new esport is going to be and how we can develop it, seeing who the top teams are. We've had teams that have really been committed for a while now that now have a place to show off their talents, and it's awesome to see the competition coming to a head.
All right, well, let's look at what's happened then as we round up this first season. Dave, do you want to take us through what the women's season?
Yeah, you bet. One of the things that was clear from the get-go that Hino was going to be really tough to beat, and ultimately no one did. They ran the table. Perfect score for the season. So that being said, what was happening right below them, second, third, and fourth, was fascinating. We saw a really nice comeback from the 2020 team. A couple of weeks ago, they had a rough outing. They dropped down 5 places, but they got their act together and came back strong and ended up moving back into second to claim that for the season.
Nathan, the men's was closer, but we still had a clear winner.
Yeah, we did. Canyon Esports versus Saris and Pros Closet up front. It was all about their head-to-head, it seemed like. But consistency is very key, especially in this league. So Canyon Esports, they ended up showing that they had that extra percentage throughout the entirety of the season to just solidify themselves at the top. Saris and Pros Closet ended up in second. But there's those teams that were battling it out for third. PO Auto Boat Racing Team, they were definitely battling it out. PO Auto ends up being the team that takes down third. But we also have teams that were rallying later on, figuring out how to really perform in Zwift racing, coming from in real life. Vetus, they had some walk-away performances. Just having that consistency, I think, and showing up on the day to deliver was the issue for them. If they figured things out for season 2, I'd actually be watching out for them to have that extra percentage and consistency if they can deliver the battle with Canyon Esports as well as our Pros Closet. So really interesting, but Canyon Esports, they've shown that they put the work in, they've done their homework, and they're teaching the rest of the class, actually.
They did, and you saw those teams that learned from them. Now, the exciting thing about the new league system is that there are ups and there are downs, promotions and relegations, as much as celebrating our inaugural winners in Canyon and Hino. Excites me. Another thing which excites me is the new faces who might be joining them and trying to take their crown next season. Who is in the running to come up next season, Nathan?
Yeah, so in the Community League, I would definitely be watching out for Aeonian, Socks for Watts, ATP Racing Venom, and Finesse Wahoo Chicks. That's on the women's side of things. They have what it takes to compete in the Premier Division amongst the top teams. It's going to be interesting to see who can make that once we get into some knockout rounds between them. On the men's side of things, it's a little bit more open across all of the divisions. I would definitely see that Relentless and ZWC Attack out of APAC. You're watching out for Ness Wahoo as well in the Americas. Kirschmeyer and Foodsray there also in the EMEA divisions as well. Be on the watch out for those teams. Those are the ones I think that have it to compete at the top level of this sport.
Dave, it's a big old step up, isn't it? We're talking about going from one of the lower divisions up into the Premier, the top rung of racing in the Zwift world. Are they going to have what it takes to cut it, do you think?
It's been really interesting, but we said all along that the distribution of the talent through the Premier League, it definitely trickled down into the community. And some of the community teams ended up with an embarrassment of riches. I think Aeonian is the perfect example. Daniela Estrate, the Romanian rider, Jamie Lee Wright on that squad as well. These are two riders that are going to make a mark the moment they show up in the Premier League.
Looking ahead to riders from the ZRL in the world, who are you most excited about? Who are you happiest about seeing making it to the biggest stage?
Yeah, so I would definitely, on the men's side of things, coming out of the US of A, if we were able to get the first rainbow stripes, Holden Camille, he is reigning US national champion on Zwift. He's got the sprint like nobody else. The guy is just a monster. If he can make it into that final flat on the hilly Watopia Forward KOM. They're going to be doing that kind of two-tier climb. It's going to be at their pace, about a minute and a half all out. If they don't drop him early on that climb, and he's able to throw down that punch he's got, I think he's going to have 15, 16 watts per kilogram across the line and walk away with that. I saw him in some practice races, and he did just that. And on the women's side of things, Lou Bates and Kristen Kolchinski have both made a career for themselves now out of Zwift racing, coming out of the community. Lou Bates, I believe an amateur racer up until this point, is now on this team. And I think seeing her as well as Kristen Kolchinski, she's also a similar situation, but hasn't raced a bike at all in real life and is only a Zwift racer, now riding for 2020. Both of them have what it takes to go from bottom to top on that KOM and may be able to just walk away with it.
Nathan and Dave, great to chat to you. Thank you so much. Now, I love new things, I love exciting things, and therefore, as a result, I love exciting new things the most. And one of the most exciting new things around recently has been the evolution of the Z Pro Tri Series. 3 different punchy races, one after the other, with short recovery times in between. It's been just a brilliant format. And now that the series is at an end, I've, like a hydration genie from a bead-on lamp, summoned the man at the helm of the Z Pro ship to give us his rundown of the 5 moments that really mattered. That's Matt Lietto. Mate, how are you? Glad to have you along.
I'm great, man, and for that intro, I'm stoked to be here.
Well, it's good to have you. I have loved the Z Pro Tri Series. You had such a stacked field.
Yeah, it was crazy. I mean, 40 of the best athletes from all over the planet getting ready for a big race, World Championship race next week, and they all took the time out to race with us, and it was awesome racing.
Yeah, loved watching it. Now, you have chosen for me your 5 moments that mattered from the series. If I gave you 90 seconds starting now, could you run them down for me?
Number 1, Paula Finlay. First week was the crit race in downtown Dolphin, and out of nowhere, Paula had not shown herself all day, and she took the bounty of the points, getting the sprint finish from everyone. And then for highlight number 2, Lionel Sanders and Anthony Costas were battling each other left and right. And the last time trial, they were within 3 or 4 seconds of each other the entire mass start non-drafting hill climb time trial. And they ended up 2 seconds apart, with Lionel just getting beaten by Anthony by about 1.5 seconds. And for third highlight would be Meredith Kessler, same race. In that time trial, she was 3rd, and she got 3rd after having done an Ironman just 3 days prior. And then for my 4th highlight will be the last week, there was this huge battle in the men's race for podium position between Ben Canute, Mike Phillips, and Jackson Laundry. And after the first race, it was Ben Canute was super aggressive. He dropped Mike Phillips in the crit. He got all the points. And then the next race, Mike Phillips smacked Ben Canute. He got dropped and he got the points. And then out of nowhere in the time trial, Jackson Laundry just snuck up behind and got the podium position. And then for my last one, number 5, it has to be Joe Skipper, just for being the most aggressive athlete of the series. Every time there was an opportunity, he went out for an attack. Solo breakaways left and right, had a long one with Tim Reed off a leg snapper. And then the last week, he had 2 solo breakaways on the crit and the scratch race where he was caught within the last 100 meters of the race. So that's my top 5.
And 5 fabulous moments. And using my unofficial timing, it is actually 89.9 seconds. So you've actually missed the 90 seconds. If you could do it all again for me, but just 0.1 of a second longer. Is that cool?
Yeah, let's do it.
Listen, I have checked. Turbo Santa will be visiting Bend in Oregon. What are you hoping for under the tree this year?
Well, I've been doing my training early in the morning, getting on Zwift while it's still dark outside as it is right now. And I need about 3 or 4 espressos while I'm riding in a 90-minute session. So I want an automatic espresso machine that kind of, I don't know if it's like on a Camelback kind of hose, but just automatically just injects me with coffee while I'm riding.
I would love to see. So like a butter, you've got the pipe in your mouth and a button, and then poof, in it goes.
Yeah.
Okay, like Dragon's Den, I'm in. I'll invest in that. Matt, it's been great to chat to you. Thank you so much. I've loved the series.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it so much. It's been great.
It is the end of the Zero season, but that does not mean you should all skip your lessons in cycling and rush to go and stuff your faces with food over Christmas. No, we still have things to learn. As always, we have the amazing Kristin Armstrong back in her corner to teach us, the mere mortals, why the mighty Hino and Canyon Esports came out on top.
Hey everyone, it's Kristin Armstrong back here with Coach's Corner. The final showdown for the ZRL Premier Division did not disappoint. Watovia's waistband team time trial looked as if it were going to be a short, sweet, and fast finale. On both the men's and women's side, it came down to this final race to determine who was going to round out the podium for the overall spots in the series. Team Hino and Canyon Esports absolutely dominated season 1 from the beginning and never looked back. Hino finished the series on the top step of the podium 8 out of 8 times. And Canyon Esports with 4 wins and 4 finishes on the podium. Now that's what you call consistency. Now with the second season upon us in 2021, what are some takeaways for those teams who were oh so close, as well as for those teams who didn't quite accomplish the results they had hoped for? First and foremost, we cannot forget, we are in the foundational phase of esport racing, with still so much to learn. This is the fun part. It's awesome to have teams like Hino and Canyon Esports to learn from, as well as all of the community Zwifters out there who know the in-game inside and out. Personally, I have learned so much just from these last 8 weeks, from watching, listening, as well as riding the same courses the pros are riding. And as an avid Zwifter, you will catch me in a race every once in a while. The way I look at things, it comes down to power, speed, tactics, and knowledge. Knowledge comes from practicing with your team, course recons, and watching and analyzing film. Hino was solid each and every week, finishing with all riders in the TT, still having sprinters in the points races, snatching that maximum points each time. Now with Canyon Esports on the men's side, they have the depth, but also didn't always finish with their entire team in the team time trial, but rather they used each rider's ability to the fullest each and every race. There is still so much to learn, but I have no doubt that over the next month, prior to the kickoff of season 2, there will be plenty of training and learning sessions taking place. I can't wait to see the mix-up and showdown for season 2 in early 2021. I'll see you soon.
From one, frankly, awesome woman who knows what's going on under the hood of ZRL racing to another, here's Anna Russell with another brilliant interview. This time she's talking all things aero.
So, hey, I'm here with the team manager, Busy, from Team Aero, and also Tanya here, one of the racers for the team. So, Busy, you're the manager, you know a bit about Aero and the riders there. Can you give us some background, a bit of your origin story for Team Aero?
Tally started the team up earlier this year, sort of as we went into lockdown. It was predominantly to provide a race platform for Australian riders, so that some of our top riders could, have a good opportunity to get into the race scene, try and improve their results out on the road. And it just grew and grew and grew. And everyone's just found this awesome community to be a part of and love the Zwift platform.
Tanya, you're one of the riders from Team Aero. So you've got a pretty interesting story that we wanted to share. So do you want to just let us know a little bit about sort of why you got on Zwift and how you're finding the platform?
Yeah, so I actually got on Zwift, it's probably good 3.5 years ago now, just as a bit of a training tool to run my training programs that I used to do. But I got into racing sort of during the first lockdown, like most people. It's also been advantageous for myself because I got diagnosed with breast cancer in June, and had surgery in July, and then started treatment at the end of July, and have continued to go through chemo treatment until January next year. But it's just been a great opportunity to sort of keep up that training and contact with people and all those sorts of things, particularly with lockdown and going through treatment at the same time.
I mean, from everything I've heard about chemo, it's just absolutely energy sapping. I mean, how do you get on and then do these races?
I think a base level of fitness probably helps, but they also say that exercise actually helps you get through the chemo treatment better. And so I really took that and said, I even asked my oncologist, how hard can I go? And she pretty much said as hard as you're comfortable going. With lockdown and everything as well, just to be able to get on the indoor trainer without having to worry about if I get so far out, not being able to come back, all that sort of stuff. If I'm done, I'm done. I can just get off whenever I'm ready. So it's been great.
Busy, I guess back to you, the team manager, you often will be the one who's picking the teams. Aero's been racing really well in this APAC division. I mean, you've got a big battle on your hands with AHDR, who are, top of the league at the moment. What's your strategy into the last two races coming up?
It's hard to say with strategy. I think there's just that all-out desire to be the ace of cakes for us. It's just been lots of fun. It's a lot of banter and all healthy and good fun. And the girls have just loved it, and they've gone from strength to strength.
Well, good luck, guys. You're definitely making the APAC region pretty exciting. It's been great to commentate, and I love the Aero team, and I love the little battle you guys have got on going at the top of the league. So good luck for your last two races. Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
Cheers for that.
The fabulous Anna Russell there, always getting to the heart of the matter. Another great interview. And just to say, our thoughts are with Tanya Laudner from everyone at Zwift. Now, with the first ever UCI Cycling Esports World Championship so close, I can literally smell them, a heady mix of deep heat and excitement. We decided to send an ex-pro to recce what is a bespoke World Champs course for us, and who better to do this than someone who has ridden out the worlds on the road, someone who effortlessly straddles the World Tour and the world of Zwift. It is the one, the only Matt Stevens here with his Pro Rider Recon World Championships edition.
This is my recon, a solo recon of the custom figure 8 course that's going to be used in the 2020 UCI Esports World Championships. Of course, the first ever. Here we go. Of course, elements of this course I know very, very well indeed. And I think whoever come up with this course design has done a really, really good job, because there's a bit of everything. No epic climbs, but I think with nice sections of flat, some good descents and some punchy climbs, they're really something for everybody. The first lap is a reverse lap of the traditional Watopia course. Okay, first significant climb of the day now. We're going the reverse way up, the finish climb basically, and there's one real steep section on it. I've just gone up past it now. It's about 8 or 9%. And again, this climb is long, but there's some flatter sections on it. So we're coming to the top of the reverse KOM. As you can see, it actually flattens out. An opportunity to sit in the wheels, just coming through to another archway, been over the first rolling part of the course, and we're now heading out into the ocean underneath the tunnels, which of course the first time I rode Zwift, 5 years ago now. This was actually my favourite part visually, running underneath the sea. How cool. I've been around the 40 to 50 minute mark, and just adding on another 15-20 minutes over this sort of effort means you really have to think about your energy expenditure. So 50k total distance, well over halfway now. Just under 19 kilometers still to go. So just over the top of the penultimate climb of the day. We've got 12.8 kilometers to go, and now we hit the descent. Now, good opportunity here to get a micro rest as well, because if you're traveling on a descent 58 k's an hour or above, you can get into an aero tuck, which gives you a nice little break there. So I'm doing 66 k's an hour still, holding it there. So this could give riders good 10 or 15 seconds without pedaling. So the timing of coming out of an aero tuck is really crucial as well. But that's the last real opportunity to save what could be a really valuable bit of energy. 10 kilometers to go now in the first ever Esports World Championships. A flat section here. So complex parkour this last 4.2 k's now. Expect a few riders to really lay down some power, and pound to a penny we will see some attacks on this particular section. So we're coming up now to the Flamme Rouge. 1 kilometre to go now, 3%, and then this is the steepest part of the climb. Kicks up here, 11%. Really when the road starts to bite. Still a long way to go on this climb. 700 metres. They're going to have to dig very, very deep. 300 to go. Still, the grade is at 6%. 100 metres. This is it. This is where the winner will be crowned. Champion of the world will be crowned just here.
So there we have it. The course is ready. The trainers have been shipped out. The national teams are ready. The riders, well, they're tapering nicely, and I cannot wait. So make sure you join Matt together with Rob Hatch and Orla Chenoweth as they bring you a historic first live from the streets of Watopia on Eurosport, as well as a whole list of broadcasters around the world. It is gonna be great. Cannot wait. And with that, I wish you a happy holidays. I hope Turbo Santa brings you everything you've asked for, even if you have to buy it yourself. And we'll see you back here in the new year for more from the fabulous world of Zwift. Until then, don't just ride, race, and ride on.